Hello and welcome to the show. It's actually stage 2 of the stage 2 now of StarSeries, so we need that new intro because some of the teams have been eliminated then. And first up in stage 2 we're going to have Fnatic versus TSM in a best of 3, and I believe the maps are going to be Dust 2, Inferno, Mirage. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
I am indeed correct. So have you seen much of the new Fnatic yet?
No. I think Vugo's been standing in a lot, hasn't he?
I saw Fnatic playing Na'Vi, but Fnatic always wrecked Na'Vi, so there wasn't really much to take from that match. It was a 16-3, 16-3 at the end of the last stage, stage 1 basically. So yeah, they got blown up. They got decimated then. They got jettisoned into the sun. Did Na'Vi.
Whoa.
By Fnatic, but Na'Vi don't have a good record against it, so it doesn't really give you an indication as to where things are. Olofmeister did say though that things are headed in the right direction. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, in these online matches as well. I think it's kind of hard to say what you're going to get when you have two of the potentially, they're two of the top 3 teams, I guess, in the world still. So
2 Swagalord teams.
So it's really hard to say what you're going to get exactly. So, well, I guess you know that you're going to get some good Counter-Strike, and luckily we do not have any stand-ins here for Fnatic. They've got the full lineup ready and waiting to play this game, and we'll be starting things off on Dust 2, which is a nice way to kick things off here today. And, well, it looks like we've got full Kevlars on both teams. No kit on TSM, which usually when a team would go in this kind of strategy, you would expect them to be more aggressive because you don't want the bomb to go down if you've got no kit. You don't want to be playing retake if you have no kit, so you kind of want to get in there before that situation happens, so you expect aggressive play. But they're actually going a little bit of the opposite. Very far back, no deep cat control, no dark control from TSM. Just waiting for Fnatic, and so far Fnatic are yet to really make a move.
Indeed, and let's see, it was Olofmeister looking down mid for the longest time. Again, that's an unfavourable duel versus a USPS. They'll definitely have the range advantage at most of the angles they're peaking at the moment. So Fnatic starting to move now, 40 seconds on the clock here, and they didn't have the significant map advantage yet. Map control, sorry, but they're going to play the numbers game towards short. Jumping up, Dennis going to get wrecked by cajunb. Trades coming in, the bomb almost falls into CT spawn, but just gets picked up. Now Carry needs to make sure they don't run too close to the ledge there. flusha trying to duel for long, and then he'll take it. You can see the CT's already up short, and the bomb should go down, planted for platform on long.
Yeah, we've got the bomb down now, so that situation with no kick could get a little bit annoying, but they are right in the bomb site pretty much. Device on 1 HP, so you don't like his chances in this one. He is going to see if he can find something here, but Fnatic playing this pretty perfectly at the moment, not really exposing themselves whatsoever, forcing him to come close into their beautiful crossfire, or as much of a cross. Well, they're both going to be able to see him at once, but KRIMZ is going to be able to just peek up and take the shot, get the headshot there as well into Device. So, well then, Fnatic, after a very prolonged and very passive piss around, are going to be able to take that one, and we'll see a couple AKs, P90, a MAC-10, and Oomp in play.
Okay, so let's see how things go for TSM here. So this lineup actually is going to be an Xbox smoke. It's one of the faster ones we've seen. Very nice.
Or did he mess it up?
No, it would have landed on the would have just bounced off afterwards and landed on the short area. It's funny, we were at an Intel event, and
oh yeah,
one of the one of the public playing against the LGB girls actually threw that smoke, which was quite awesome to see. Anyway, it looks like Fnatic are going to go for a play towards long with 4 people. Zimnik's going to be able to take those quick peek pot shots while they have a teammate holding down mid. That's Olofmeister. He's going to go down though, so the push comes in towards long.
Yeah, fast action here. The pistols have yet to really do a lot of damage to Fnatic. They've busted through long, which was somewhat of a stronghold for TSM, but they do still have the A bomb site with a couple players and dupreeh in the back, but Fnatic just moving as a unit. There's not really much you can do against that, just a wild pack of hungry animals. I don't know which vowels to use, James.
Keep going, Dan. Keep going.
In these words.
I believe in you, Dan.
So Device is going to find his way through the double doors there, catching the arse end of the push, if you will. And this is not going well, James.
No, it is not. Well, it is an eco from them. Device in an interesting situation of 1 HP and armor. Surely he'll want to save the armor indeed. He was already moving away from the site, but the hunt is beginning. I believe we have a flusha looking for some bonus money with that UMP kill. Going to go for the flank towards long, while the rest of the teams scramble towards the A site. So Device's days are surely numbered here. I mean, he can try to hold maybe a close corner on short and hop for a one-tap, but the pre-fire may come in with a second player. Indeed, 2 coming from the C2 spawn position. Device getting Dennis, so the P250 will pay for itself, but again, that armor is... Oh, okay, now he's making some money.
Yeah, and he's doing some legit damage as well. I mean, 3 kills is pretty good, actually. Did they go full way on the investment? Okay, they're kind of halfway. I like this when TSM do this, when you get like a couple players that do go for the force buy and then couples who maybe just buy PT50s or something like that. I think it's kind of nice because TSM recognize they don't need, when it comes to their full buy rounds, they don't need every player with a with everything because of the setups that they're going to play. So it's basically a highly optimized setup, giving them some edges in other rounds, such as that round, allowing them to have some resources freed up to buy the pistols and some armors on a couple players as needed. So we have the Fnatic anti-eco coming into play again. You can see they're just once again moving together as a team, making sure that they're going to keep themselves safe against anything that would otherwise be very detrimental to them, which is close-range pistol engagements. And so far it's working out pretty well. We've got Fnatic up on the bomb site. TSM know what's going on, but can they stop it? Looks like it's not really happening for them. And that is the beauty of well-executed anti-eco such as this from Fnatic.
So far so good from the Swedish side. KRIMZ and Dennis taking some damage, but TSM being forced from various positions. olofmeister going to go down, but that's going to be all the damage done by the CT side in that round. So now we're going to finally see the buy for both teams. We'll see what TSM have to offer. cajunb going to be the AWPer at the moment. Again, we know that there are a number of players who are capable on the TSM side, but for now it will be cajun. AWP no armor, so we'll see what angle he opts to hold and if they will choose to smoke off long, which seems to be where he's headed. Got a fast aggression here from 2 Fnatic players. cajunb looking to take a pot shot through onto the angle though, but unable to even get a shot off, and karrigan's gone down as well. He's going to have to retreat. We've got Xyp9x by the car position, so TSM in a bit of an awkward situation on long at the moment.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that on the T side AWPing, usually karrigan picks it up and goes hyper aggressive, but on the CT side, karrigan often just plays long with an M4, which is M4A1S actually, which is quite interesting. Anyway, we got the push in from Fnatic now onto the B-bomb site. They've actually recognized that TSM would perhaps go for a bit of a mid gamble there, and they've gotten themselves straight in. The bomb is not down just yet, and TSM are finally aware of what's going on, but it's going to be so hard for them to stop this. There'll be a couple frags found into middle, so the split is cut off, but it's not going to stop the fact that there's 3 players on the bomb site getting the plant in, and flusha with an excellent swipe there onto Xyp9x is going to make things impossible here for cajunb, who is the last standing member of TSM, and he's going to hope to just save this AWP now, and well, they're off to a poor start.
Yeah, so ironically the only player with armor is the only player left for the team, so this is good momentum for Fnatic, and we'll see if TSM have a solution to this once their next buy comes in. And again, now they're in a bit of a predicament. I don't know if any of them will have some extra money to spend, but cajunb, does he buy armor with this AWP now in the next round, or does he try to save it, depending on what the money is compared to the rest of the team? Decisions need to be made here on the TSM side. So indeed, he is going to go for the armor, cajunb. And the rest of his team just going to buy some pistols, it seems, and not much else. cajunb has a smoke and a flash as well. So, I mean, one thing they could do is, for example, smoke off long, try and boost up short. Or, I mean, there's like 150 things they could do. And they're going to start trying to hold down the short area with the AWP, it seems.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty troublesome here. Keep the AWP alive, but I mean, cajunb, I think he's going to have quite a... I think he's going to be thinking mainly about keeping this AWP into the next round, because that'd be obviously a pretty big deal, because it's very hard as the CT side to actually try to open it up with a gamble. If it was the other way around, he's on the T side with the solitary AWP, then there's lots of stuff you can do. You can risk the AWP to get damage, to try to open up the round, steal away weapons, create a push, but it's much harder, I think, on the defense, because it's very easy for Fnatic to just find a way around the AWP and just circumvent it completely. So we've got Device here. He could actually do a lot of damage in that position if they don't take him out quickly. We all know how dangerous the D can be. And Fnatic are going to be starting to think about making the move now. And you can see the players are starting to rotate out of A Longhouse and out of T-spawn into the push now. But in comes dupreeh as well for the scout.
KRIMZ with that regular position, just covering himself as much as possible. Going to get an early frag there. Device, though, done enough damage to flush. Another push is continuing for these Ts. Device is going to dance around the smoke, actually that's going to help him a little bit. Going for the spam, and this is not going away. Fnatic now, the pistol's coming in around this smoke. Device continuing to get a bit sneaky, and let's bear in mind, TSM 2 versus 2, and they've got an AWP now. Then it's looking towards window, getting punished for doing so. Now KRIMZ finds himself alone versus cajunb and a karrigan, who is yet to pick up a rifle.
A nice pop flash though, and I think Zipnik's actually got a double with the P250. Not often you see that, and we've got KRIMZ here, he's playing against the clock. He's got no time at this point to actually plant the bombs. So the round should be won here, they just have to hide and they realize it. Oh, he's going to take down cajunb, that's the AWP gone. That's kind of a big deal. I mean, they'll win the round and they'll have plenty of cash, but that's a nice play from KRIMZ. But even nicer is the fact that Zipnik's got a double with the P250. He headshot one player and the bullet went through and killed another one. I think.
We were watching Device at the time behind the Xbox in the B site, and again, the smoke they put down just gave him more space to play with in that situation. And then just the distractions, Zipnik comes in. So there you go, TSM winning an unlikely round. Fnatic may be waiting a bit too long. There we go, flusha's getting naded into oblivion now, so that's an early advantage for the Danish side.
Indeed. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what Fnatic do now, because being down a man, you need to get the map control plays in, and you can see they're going to try to entry into middle. It also gives them some information as to what the CT setup really looks like, and they'll take one player down, they'll see another by CT. This kind of informs them, I think, fairly reliably that there's going to be 2 on the A site, and one of the A players is that guy that's in CT now, and that B will have 1 solitary player. So due to that fact, that they can effectively go for either the A split or the B split. It's both good here. They do have a couple of smokes to play with as well, so they should be fine. Looks like they're opting for the A split. Could
this be a wall coming in the way they are putting those smokes down? Well, there's one. Okay, that's the Fnatic smoke as it's known, to stop the players coming in from the slope and getting the frags. cajunb missing the first shot there, getting naded as well. Again, he still has no armor in this round. Done some damage though, looking to try and get a pre-fire and going to reposition now. He's got more players in slope as well, 3 versus 2, as KRIMZ is again fighting on a site for survival. JW is going to smoke off the slope, and he'll stay on that side of the smoke, or just walk through it as JW does. See when he chooses to push. cajunb's holding the angle, so JW has to be careful here, not to overextend.
Yeah, especially with the long barrel of that gun, it could poke through the smoke as well. But he's going to go straight in there, gets the hip shot onto Zipnik, of course. And that in the chaos, in the distraction, KRIMZ is going to clean up the last player. But the key thing there actually was the fact that JW initially won his entry onto long, because if he doesn't win that entry onto long, then cajunb doesn't have to go into crossover position, because he had to reposition because he was aware that he was going to get attacked from 2 fronts. And if cajunb could have stayed there, KRIMZ definitely would have died. So JW and that single man presence on long made a massive difference for Fnatic, and now they've reset TSM.
Indeed, so Fnatic won't be too concerned about that round that TSM won anymore, because it's now put them in a stronger position to extend their lead quite massively following the reset of the TSM economy here. But again, they need to make sure they don't get anti-ecoed, ecoed like they did the previous time. They just bided their time and were waiting for the overextension from TSM, which did come through the B tunnel. However, the follow-up was a complete failure there for the Swedish side. So here we go. Zipnik's now trying to cause more trouble over towards the A-bomb site. Going to just adjust his position and try to play the strength and numbers game with his team.
Yeah, it looks really good here for the Swedes, indeed. And it's always really rough when you get off to the start like this on the CT side. I mean, the pressure really starts to mount, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to create this situation from the T side, and you realize already that you're probably going to do the same thing that they did when you get to your T side. Because TSM, I don't know if they'll even get to 5 or 6 rounds. I think that would be like pretty amazing for them to find their way there from this kind of position.
Oh, the timing is unreal!
Yeah, so picking up a gun there is Device. He's actually going to keep this alive too, so that's nice. That's something. That is something in the AK. What kind of money do they have now? I mean, they can force it up here. Yeah, they can go for this. With the AK especially, they got enough money on karrigan for the AWP. I wonder if they'll change the setup, if they'll stay to the kind of tried and tested cajunb CT AWP and karrigan on long. It looks like they will. Okay, so business as usual here, and Device will stay on the AK.
Yeah, but not business as usual on the Fnatic side. olofmeister now going for the WP, but he's going to get taken down from cajunb. Blind shot as well. So again, playing the spawn perhaps, but not working out. cajunb now on point, taking down JW as well. flusha trying to force his way into long, but not getting the pick as fast as he would have liked. So Fnatic being shut out of this round at the moment. we can see there's a bit of an abandonment of the B bomb site from TSM, making nice reads, trying to concentrate the forces towards Fnatic as much as possible.
Yeah, we got Fnatic with a desperation play into middle now, trying to get it done with 3 players. They need the entry. There it is. Device is going to fall, and Xyp9x might get himself through the smoke. There's not many players here to really play with, so Xyp9x, this is a well worth it risk here, and he's going to actually pick up the kill onto Dennis. KRIMZ will go in with flusha as well now, and things are looking really, really hard right now for Fnatic. KRIMZ, oh my goodness, finds the kill at the back. karrigan is going to hit the floor there as KRIMZ looks for more engagements, but his teammate is down. KRIMZ, however, does have the bomb, but how on earth is he going to make his way to a bomb site?
Got to be wary of the player in the lower tunnel as well, who's just holding an angle actually, so he is going to move on to short duo 360 to avoid the AWP, and now he's going to look for the engagement and get the bomb down for his team. cajunb's eventually going to peek, but the barrel's going to save KRIMZ for now. Almost gets the rotator KRIMZ. Now he's got a 2 versus 1, and he's going to try and pre-fire not to get traded, but he will get taken down from short by the 3rd player. So just too many players made it an insurmountable task there for KRIMZ, but I like the 360 jumping off the bricks. I
liked how he also moved from that point forward, because of the way that he it's like usually quite exposed there, but you know, when he's down by the barrels, you can see that he was just covered for the guy that's on the slope, and but he could actually see the guy that would be coming up for crossover. So pretty cool movement there from KRIMZ, despite that. But yeah, a bit of a disaster. You know, Fnatic taking a couple risks early on, and cajunb just capitalizing, and that's what it comes down to sometimes. That's why the AWP is so insanely important on the CT side, to have like a stable AWPer to be able to hit these shots. It just makes a difference. Now Fnatic, they have a really awful buy actually, so there's a real opportunity for TSM here.
Indeed, and you saw the CT AWP was holding the opposite side to short through double doors. JW, unawares, got legged by the AWPer, so he's going to have to be careful, but they know where the AWP is, at least for the time being. There's a lurker towards long in flusha. He's only got a deagle. KRIMZ also is limited to the League, and we'll see what the Fnatic plays, if it's going to be mid or short initially. Looks like they're going to go through mid with a... I'm just going to walk in actually. Not many grenades on them. Jesper is not going to be found through the corner of the smoke there, and he will combine with Device, take down 2 players.
Yeah, this is looking strong again. Fnatic being kind of shut down at the moment. They need to get some damage here, these remaining players of Fnatic, but again also, I'm sure they would love to keep the AWP alive. They probably won't see another one if they lose this round for a while. But good shot from KRIMZ will find the first frag onto TSM. Jesper will go down. And now TSM, they just have to play it safe. There's only 2 players. They can give up middle. They don't need the information as much. They can play reactively and try test their mettle against the offense here. But so far, their mettle is being found wanting, as dupreeh will get the trade onto KRIMZ. But Dennis is going to come in from up top. He's going to take down the defending player in dupreeh and grab the AWP and the bomb. And actually, he's going to go straight to dark because there's no time. And he's looking for this flanking player. But you can see TSM being careful of their money as well, not trying to throw in too many bodies there. So Fnatic, they'll lose that round, but they'll keep the AWP on Dennis. They can force buy from this actually as well. They're going to do it as well.
Well, yeah, they're going to keep or try to keep the pressure up on the CT economy. That's a great start. dupreeh has left the building. Thanks to Dennis, actually. So this AWP continuing to rotate. G2 still on train.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick start. And with the force buy as well, who knows what's going to happen at this point. They're looking to go for the A assault, and this is going to be awful for TSM. Absolutely awful. They don't have anybody on position. This defense is just not going to happen. They might as well just try to play the retake from this point, because I mean, only karrigan is in any kind of position, and nowhere near the bomb site itself. This round is essentially a forfeit at this point for TSM, it would seem.
Double ops, olofmeister and dennismeister coming in to wipe out the TSM team. So again, the force buy with 1 AWP has done considerable damage to the TSM side. JW unable to win that duel. KRIMZ looking to follow up. Device has a fair few points of health though, so he will need a few taps with that Tech 9, and KRIMZ has only got 2 HP.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Device has to get kills. If he possibly can, he really needs to find kills here, because look, an AWP has been picked up by olofmeister. That's already huge amounts of value. It was very nice actually that Device was able to make the kill in middle there to at least remove one of the rifles from these players, but we'll see that, you know, the extra AWP picked up will definitely help out Fnatic massively. They're going to get the double AWP setup rolling in now, and what did TSM really have to say for themselves? Device saved his M4, but the rest of his teammates, they can't buy. So TSM are in a position where they're just going to go for a bit of an aggression up catwalk, it would seem, and see if they can get something done with Device and put all their faith in him.
Well, we'll see when or if he goes for the peak, but he might have to do it sooner rather than later because they're already a man down. dupreeh getting taken down through B halls, and there goes Device on his peak. So the rifle has been lost for TSM. 3 players remaining, and Simnix only has the honest P250 there, so it looks like a difficult round for TSM. Just AWP after AWP after AWP here. This is a Fnatic team where every single player on their team can AWP.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? But hey, it's not necessarily the best way to go about things, but it does enable you to be quite dynamic as a team. And Fnatic will claim an 8th round. I thought TSM, you know, after that shock victory of their own, that they could actually have a real shot at this, and they're playing the rounds really well. But ever since that AWP save, you know, Fnatic have just been propelling themselves even further forward with even greater of a trajectory than initially anticipated. 3 Pamis, the AWP on Device, again he's playing middle, so Device is, I like that Device is playing middle here because playing middle with the AWP is actually inherently quite risky, but at this point, when there's so many rounds behind, you actually want to play risky. You want to get your star player in with the situations where he can try to take edges over the other players. Even though the other players could be the likes of, you know, olofmeister or JW or Dennis, it's still what you should be doing, and I like that they understand that.
So, the timing again, Device just looking away when the T's are emerging towards the short position. Maybe weary of the pop flash through mid doors and a push from the T's. And indeed, the push from the T's is coming in with a smoke on the corner. And smoke onto CT as well. So, then they're going through to the window, and that's going to do significant damage to Device, who's holding an angle with the AWP. You can see, I think it's dupreeh who's playing close, going through the corner of the smoke now. Is he going to get traded? I don't think he is. So, early man advantage here for TSM.
Yeah, really well-timed push there. That's going to work out fantastically. They were looking quite bad in that situation, but Fnatic have to go with sort of a plan B into the A-bomb site, if you will. Or actually, that said, they're actually... they got a bomb on catwalk still, but they're rushing in towards middle. So, okay, everybody's coming with olofmeister. olofmeister's going to go down as well. So the play is pretty much scattered out right now. They'll see the bomb as well as flusha jumps across. They'll get the opening, but there is no smoke down to protect these players as they go across middle. So this is a very hard situation, and it's going to go the way of TSM. So TSM looking like they're able to bounce back here, but I would say I really thought Fnatic had a great play there into middle. That pressure was fantastic, and we'll have to see whether or not, which team will come out on top this round, because this round is going to be very telling, because both teams bought up everything. The team that loses this round has no money in the next round.
Well, we'll see if TSM can bring the deficit down. Device with a good start there. dupreeh holding down things towards the B-bomb site. Going to get traded though, and that's 2 Fnatic players into the site. We've got Device holding outside with the AWP, trying to go for some timing frags, but not going to make any connections. Man advantage for TSM, and there's a rotation coming in from T-spawn, but I don't think it will get to T-spawn before flusha gets into tunnel with the bomb. Indeed, it will soon be missed. So 3 outside of B. They're going for a quick peek there. Dennis unable to make a connection, and the bomb should soon get planted.
Yeah, we got TSM now mounting the retake, looking to try to snap it in together, but they're getting absolutely destroyed here by Dennis in window. Those are fantastic plays, and he's going to find himself a 3rd kill just pushing through the window as karrigan goes in alone. He needed teammates to play off of to try to lock these T's in the site, but they have gone with the wind, and now it's just going to be karrigan by himself, and Dennis is looking for the ace. He'll be denied, but going to have karrigan just trying to bait out the last player now. flusha, and he's playing the time perfectly at this point. karrigan's get the fire actually, but there's no time to defuse the bomb, so Fnatic playing that one perfectly, and karrigan will be denied. Excellent play from Dennis in particular, and Fnatic will go 9 rounds to 4, and despite this kind of scoreline, TSM have been putting up a really good fight. I don't think the score does it justice.
Okay, yeah, they have. Indeed, they have. But here we go. They find the limitations of round loss now. 2 rifles, one of which is a scout. Xyp9x on the M4. 2 players holding down the long position. You can see Fnatic look poised to go for a push, but will they commit to it? The flash is starting to come in. karrigan playing close to the seed. They're not going to be enough though. JW taking him down immediately. olofmeister spotting cajunb over towards Car. He is soon to fall as well. Xyp9x trying to hold things down here from the site itself. 1 player going down. How much info can he get for his team while the rotation comes in? flusha is on the flank from B as well.
Yeah, we got dupreeh there in CT. Perhaps he could do some extra damage as Xyp9x is holding them off as well. He's actually going to get a kill onto Olof. So now Fnatic, they can kind of try to rely on flusha here, because flusha's in this really cool position where he can spot a lot of information. Although they might not anticipate Device being so close, they are just going to circumvent his position by moving through T-spawn, and flusha will find the kill in the end towards CT spawn on the rotation. That was what he was there to do, and he's basically assuring them safe passage. But we've got CTs on the flank very, very fast. Look how quick Device is going, and Xyp9x as well by Dark. We could have problems here for Fnatic. They're getting caught between two players. Pressure from both sides. It will result in a very strong situation for TSM. Xyp9x just trying to get the kill onto Dennis, but he can't find it, and Fnatic will close around. It was a good attempt from TSM, but they will not get it done.
You've got to respect the bravery and confidence of olofmeister there. He's pushing the player in low tunnel with the bomb as well. If he loses that duel and the bomb goes down into low tunnel, that's probably the round over. So to have the temerity to do that, you have to respect it. So TSM going to be on Deagle armor or 5/7 for Device and karrigan on this round. Not many nades to speak of. Again, they've made it work before, but JW gets an early frag onto Xyp9x. There's a cajunb close by as well, but he's going to get a headshot, make it a 4-on-4. Might be hard for him to retrieve that gun for a while. Although, with that smoke, he does give him somewhat safe passage. KRIMZ taking down Device towards mid.
Yeah, and cajunb will get the gun in the end, but these Ps are making their way into this B bomb site, and dupreeh's going to lose his head there as cajunb tries to rotate in, and he's get caught by flusha. He was lurking in the smoke. Very sneaky play. And that's going to be that 11-4 scoreline for Fnatic. At times, it looked like this was always meant to be this scoreline after we saw the kind of, was it 5-1 or 6-1 start to the match. But then TSM, there was multiple opportunities where they could really have maybe got up to 6 or 7 rounds, but Fnatic just barely denying them with the clutches each time. Pretty awesome first half, actually, despite the score, but this really does put TSM in a pretty awful place, to be honest. I mean, they need the pistol win pretty badly. Let's not beat around the bush, James.
Bomb explosion down. So, indeed, TSM with it to do in the second half, which I'm sure will be starting shortly. You can see KRIMZ topping the leaderboard. I think he was 10-0, as producer Reedtz was pointing out a little bit earlier. Indeed, the countdown has begun, and the carnage will soon continue here at StarLadder I-League. Again, this is, if you're just joining us, the second stage of StarLadder, and this is the first match of the second stage here. Best of 3 between TSM and Fnatic. First map Dust 2, second map Inferno. Third map, should it go that far, will be Mirage.
And that would be something, but well, we got the piss around here. TSM much needed piss around, and are they going to go with the tried and tested, the true matchmaking proof strategy?
Rush me don't stop.
It looked like they were thinking about it, but no. Looks like they're going to hold on upper dark. But this push from Fnatic, my goodness, olofmeister is going on quite the trek at the moment. He's gone orienteering, and he's found himself a pretty sick one shot onto cajunb. Oh dear, TSM are getting wrecked here.
Indeed, and that flank is going to speed up the advance of TSM. I think dupreeh was trying to do something, but too many players in his area, and that is not much on the board there for TSM. So they're just going to have pistols, and dupreeh could have afforded himself a scout, but he went for Deagle armor as well. Other than that, there was always going to be pistols on the remaining players.
Yeah, we got the 4 SMGs here for Fnatic. You know, they were anticipating that they're going to be using those SMGs for 2 rounds, so that would be the reason. And they would be correct. We've got the force buy. I mean, TSM have to force buy here every time, to be honest, more or less. Cannot let Fnatic get any more rounds. Now, TSM have found their way out catwalk. We got the very passive play from Fnatic. They don't really have any presence on the bomb side, so the only issue, it'd be great if TSM just had some smokes, but they don't. They couldn't afford that, so they're going to have to get it done with the pure aim battles with these Deagles. They can get it. If they can win the first couple fights, they should be pretty good here actually to win this round.
Well, the P90 is coming in now. The olofmeister's got to be careful because that's not the ideal range for a P90, and that might give them the time to get him, especially the numbers game. All those shots from those Deagles would prove pretty meaty indeed. So Fnatic retain control of long, and they've got a second player who was looking to go there, but is indeed going towards short. You can see 2 players in CT for Fnatic as well. JW is heavily tagged, so he's going to have to be careful. olofmeister coming in. How many kills can he get? There's a potential for 3 here. He gets 2 so far, and indeed everyone's dead now for the TSM side. JW getting the second last one, Device. So 13-4 in favour of Fnatic.
Thought that could go quite well for TSM actually, but yeah, they just couldn't quite nail that post-plant setup. That double from olofmeister, I don't think that should have gone quite so easily for him, but yeah, Fnatic will take that round, and TSM, they're going to get the force buy-in again because they need to win now. They can't really afford to wait too long, and we'll see them just scrap together everything they can. karrigan's actually going to forfeit having anything but a deagle in this round, so he could support his teammates with better buy and lead the charge for his team. olofmeister waiting close with that P90 of his, so he can hear all the stepping towards the catwalk, so he can make the calls here. flusha knows what's up, and he's going to get taken out though, so it doesn't really matter. Device is going to get the bomb, a safe passage to be planted onto the A bomb site. This doesn't look too bad again for TSM, but it does seem by design that Fnatic want to retake in this way.
We'll see if they're able to do it. 2 men down now. No extra guns picked up from the T side just yet. But again, you can see how advanced TSM are. They've realized that Fnatic are not pushing for this, so I'm not sure if Dennis has been spotted yet, but the rest of his teammates are being hunted elsewhere. Indeed, karrigan is coming Dennis's way now, but he's only got a P90, has karrigan. So indeed, those 2 players coming up mid will indeed come towards long, and Dennis will have a task on his hands now. Grenade coming in, and that'll be enough to finish him off with a P90.
Yeah, pretty important to get these frags too, because Fnatic lost 1 guy in the previous round, so you know, if they had been able to save those weapons there, they would have been laughing, they would have been fine, to be honest. In fact, they would have been in a pretty sick position, because you know, they would have had a couple more buys behind them. But now it's a different story altogether. Losing all those players leaves them with quite a predicament. Only 1 buy, and then they got to eco if they lose this one. So TSM in prime position to swing this one back. We've got a catwalk push coming in from Fnatic. I don't know if they spotted the player below. Looks like they haven't, but the I believe its Device should have been able to hear the pressure on catwalk, and Fnatic are actually going to fall back here. They've got 4 players towards A, so they might be thinking about, if they lose the B site immediately, they might think about just saving with those 4 players, but we'll have to see. Push back onto A now.
Device getting the pick onto olofmeister there, so that is short compromised. There is still a bit of a battle here, but flusha's unable to do anything. JW is going to slow down the advance of the bomb. We'll see if he goes to the re-peek. Dennis goes down on the site as well, so TSM with some opportunity. Bit of a flashbang attempt there, but it's going to hit the ceiling and fail for versus 2. Will KRIMZ check his close right when he goes through the tunnel? Nope, moving in backwards. Traded by JW. JW versus 3 now. Zimnix and Device are tagged, but it's not going to be easy should he commit to the push.
Yeah, we can see this is getting quite awkward actually for Fnatic by this point, because he needs to get the damage in here, and it's pretty much fine if he doesn't save the weapon, because it's very unlikely that his impact can be too high in the next round with the weapon. And doing economic damage at this point is pretty important, because Fnatic need to get the ecos in now. TSM going to have a real bank building, lots of gold being transported to their coffers. In fact, they may need to enlarge the coffers, because it's not going to be a while until Fnatic can really stop them from building their money here. And full eco, this is full eco, only 1 HE. I think that was basically it for investment.
So far so good from TSM. Clearing out the B site, then this going down to 3 HP. Got a jumping push from karrigan, and that will finish him off. So now only Olof remains on long. 2 players waiting for a potential rotation, it seems. Not much else to report.
Yeah, I like this anti-eco. Again, it's fast, and that's what you often want on an anti-eco. You don't want to give the CTs any time to reposition and potentially get more shots off. The more shots that they can fire, the more opportunities that they have, obviously, to make a frag. So you want to get the position quickly, and that's exactly what TSM did. So now it's going to be a bit of a quasi-buy, I suppose, from Fnatic. Just getting some value in there, but keeping themselves in for a good buy in the following round. And they really need to get some kills in this one, because TSM have been having some clean rounds, and it looks like this round might not be any different so far.
Yeah, looks fairly consistent for TSM, and again the money mountains continue to grow for the Danish side. No kills yet for Fnatic, and they have spent a fair bit of money in this round. Maybe not the whole bank, but it wasn't cheap by any means. You can see that. That's scout onto KRIMZ, almost $1,700 just there. So see, we've got a drop down from Device. Got to be careful when you drop down because your shadow is shown if you drop down from a close short position. If someone's below, then they'll get the cue that you are doing exactly that. Nice tags there, but Dennis is alone now versus 3. karrigan could go down, but they are so far away from him that any more frags are unlikely, at least for Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis is going to die. Pretty sure. Nice kill onto Zipnix though, and actually it looks like he can survive now. I thought he was going to be toast, but he looks pretty good at this rate. Yeah.
You thought he was done for. You thought he was going to meet his untimely demise.
I thought it was his demise was timely, James. It would have been timely. So he got the AWP onto karrigan now, and with it should come a lot of pretty awesome weaponry. We got all the AKs in tow now as well. And the money still looking amazing for TSM. Double AWP for Fnatic, so a bit of a mix-up on the setup. olofmeister and JW. olofmeister's going towards long, and JW is going towards the B-bomb site. And Fnatic looking to play potentially quite a passive opening at the moment. Not really all that much information, just the... In fact, they've completely abandoned long. This is quite unusual. This could really catch TSM off guard. They might not be expecting to see much resistance here on Catwalk, but there's 2 players there, and indeed Dennis will get the first frag defensively onto Device as TSM go for what looks to be a B split.
Yeah, TSM may be making a read on the setup of Fnatic, going to move towards mid, and flusha is going to get taken down in CT spawn. Smoke off towards B, and Fnatic are rotating out of position on A actually, and now we have TSM moving towards A, it seems, slowly but surely. Can Fnatic adjust in time? Can they make the correct reads? TSM moving back to top mid, still 45 seconds for him to play with, so it looks like they're going to go for the split here, taking control of long and then short. This
is actually very smart from TSM. I mean, they have to actually kill olofmeister to make the smart play actually give them a round win, but still, it's a very smart play. olofmeister will find the first frag onto cajunb. He's going to fall back here as these players charge onto his position. karrigan has a bullet with his name on it. Dennis, though, he's in an awkward position between 2 players, but he's handling it fantastically well. 2 players down from Dennis's hands, and now karrigan is the last man standing here for TSM. The last man carrying the Danish torch in this round. And he's going to find a couple headshots, actually. It's going to be down to JW in the end. And Fnatic now 2 rounds away, but one quick note was that TSM realized, and they're a team with such high-level coordination, that with 50 seconds left, that they can make these double backs, because when they go back into the A site, it's much less likely that Fnatic are going to have optimal positions in that bomb site. So I think that was very cool.
Yeah, nicely done. Bit of a tag through the wall there, or a lot of a tag through the wall there. JW down to 35 HP, but again, he has an AWP of his own, so only needs to be quick on the trigger here. Got long in control of Fnatic for now. Again, TSM starting slowly. Going to be looking through mid doors with the pop flash. Quite a deep pop flash. That will pop flash a lot of the CT area as well, where olofmeister is currently lurking. The shoulder pick from dupreeh comes in, and he's going to get the frag afterwards. So another quick pick for the TSM side. Still 6 rounds behind Fnatic. flusha going down as well. karrigan looking to add to the tally.
And they're doing it again here. Device actually just running distraction towards A, actually finds the kill. There's one more player on this bomb site. He's pretty much isolated at this point. The Flames are going to push him back to Goose. This is looking very hard here for Dennis. He's going to need an absolutely heroic hold to try to stop these Danish players from taking this bomb site away from his team. And they have managed to circumvent the catwalk area, and dupreeh is just going to come in from below and smash him down. So looks fantastic right now for Fnatic, for TSM against Fnatic. Again, another very well read round. Good just on-the-fly coordination from TSM. It's very hard to do that. They make it look easy, but I can't really stress how hard it is to do that.
The problem for Fnatic is that their lost bonus is going to be reset here. We'll see if 2 of them can even manage to survive. It looks alright so far, but this is a good opportunity for TSM to get some significant catch-up towards that 14th round of Fnatic. Again, Fnatic only 2 rounds away from victory here, so have the opportunity for greatness. But we'll see if they can take it over the line. karrigan's given up on his search, and all 4 players will move into the next round.
Yeah, you can see the respect there, because he realizes that JW is probably watching that angle. So the gamble is heavily out of favor for you, because you have no idea where he is standing, and he knows where you're standing, or going to be standing, so it's too unfavorable. So I like that they gave up the ghost there in the end, in hunting the players down. But fast timing from Device actually down middle. Going to get himself straight down there, but he's not going to go catwalk, where there is JW actually. JW is going to spot a pixel there, but he will fall back anyway. and TSM look to be finding themselves some semblance of map control, but olofmeister looking to challenge this with the pistol. He will go down though. Perhaps trying to encourage them to push Catwalk into JW. That could be the play. Now what is TSM going to do here? Looks like they can pretty much, the world is their oyster at this point. They can do anything. They can do anything, James.
So again, you can see Long has been completely abandoned by Fnatic with 4 players on the board here. Dennis moving into C2 spawn. This is a weird round as KRIMZ and JW have the guns from the previous round, and flusha and Dennis Meister have the pistols. JW now alone, missing the first shot onto the player moving in towards B. He will try and get the cross for somebody moving over as well, but he's going to miss that shot. Just moving away before they crossed over the door. Again, the timing is Sod's law here.
JW's going to find some players. Now they've spotted him, and the alarm has been set, and they're all looking to find JW. It's almost like playing deathmatch for JW now at this point. But he just needs to hit the shots. They're all coming at once. Good coordination there from TSM to find the frag eventually onto JW. And TSM indeed 10 rounds to 14 of Fnatic. Fnatic now with pretty suboptimal money. In fact, they're probably going to think about saving here. Just maybe a bit of a quasi-buy indeed. See, KRIMZ picking up the scout there. Just keeping the money in a good place for the next round. And TSM, they have a real opportunity here. A real opportunity. Now, it seems so much easier for them when they can dictate the pace. And also play against the rotation of the CT side. They have so far shown expert cognizance of CT rotation and how they have impacted it and how to exploit those impacts.
Well, rotation is coming in now from Fnatic. And, well, there are 2 towards A site, 2 towards B tunnel, and, sorry, A long. A site, A long, and 1 towards B. There we go, back in the room. So, looks like it's going to be a 4-man push here from the T's towards long. Just over a minute on the clock, so lots of time for TSM to play with. With 1 person lurking short, they could get in trouble as they make their way through to the site. This is an eco, however, from the Swedish side, and again, now they're doing what TSM did to them on one of their ecos. Just the 2 AKs versus the remainder of the Fnatic side. Evening things up now, but they're both heavily tagged. That scout could come into play very handily. See, there is a player on short as well, so TSM are somewhat trapped at the moment.
Yeah, and there's no health on these players. Just dupreeh left against 2, and they are fully healthed up. They don't have any Kevlar, so that could be the saving grace for dupreeh. And he's going to be able to play post-plant now as well. This is really hard for dupreeh, though. With 14 HP, 1 shot is all he has to get hit by, and he's done. And he's going to get caught in the side by KRIMZ, and Fnatic are going to steal the round. That's daylight robbery right there. That is absolutely ridiculous. Fnatic, I mean, those engagements on long were just phenomenal, just with the P250s. It looked so calm. Look at this slaughter. Just all the bodies piled up by a blue container, ready for disposal.
Well, Fnatic move to game point. Again, this is a best of 3. The next map will be Inferno. The final map will be Mirage if it goes that far. We'll see if TSM can hold, if they can bring things back in their favor, just as Envy did at the Major when they were so far down against G2. Can TSM do the same in the first game? Can they stop themselves from getting into a deficit? They have a strong buy, and there are 4 ops on the map now. dupreeh, karrigan, flusha, and JW. Everybody wants a pop.
Yeah, this is it really. TSM with the double AWP. Can they get the money's worth in this round? dupreeh looking for the entry against Dennis. In goes an aid. dupreeh fast enough here. The peek comes in. Dennis! He's going to find the kill there. Great shots. Now Device needs to make something happen. He's got to create an opportunity for his team. He's the guy leading the charge. He is the team leader essentially at this point. Moving in right now, but he's not going to find anything towards the bomb side, but he will get the short plant. And Fnatic now setting up the retake.
Yeah, TSM still have control of the short area while they try to stop the CTs from coming in. There is a man advantage which soon disappears. karrigan taking down a long player. Dennis coming close, but karrigan's going to take him down as well. And now the CTs come in relatively out of position. karrigan finally gets finished off. Down goes Device in the corner near Gandalf as well. cajunb soon to follow. There is oh, the smoke's gone in the wrong direction actually, because the bomb's planted for short. Zimnix versus JW, and JW is actually trying to bait Zimnix out. Looking away just at the wrong time, but manages to get around the corner. So TSM get another round on the board here. 11 to 15. Still 4 more match points for Fnatic.
Yeah, it can't get much closer than that one. And Fnatic now, their money is in a bit of an awkward place. flusha cannot really afford to buy anything, and his teammates cannot really afford to drop for him. So they're going to say, screw you, flusha, you can... oh no, actually they're going to drop him an M4. Dennis actually goes without more or less... Well, he gets a FAMAS, but that's about it. It's KRIMZ with no Kevlar, and JW picking up the opening kill there with the AWP through the door into karrigan. karrigan usually a key player in opening up the map, almost with surgical precision with his AWP. He's now out of the picture.
Indeed, that's a great start. And again, just like you sometimes saw TSM abandon B on their CT side, you're seeing Fnatic abandon long, trying to concentrate their forces elsewhere, trying to make a read on what to expect from TSM playing against that. So you can see the bomb is just going into B halls at the moment, with dupreeh lurking around the mid area. So what is the play here? They've got 2 players on the site, and there's a first one bomb being spotted as well. We should see their rotation coming in from Fnatic, but it might be too late because JW is wrecking everyone here. cajunb's alone versus 4.
Yeah, KRIMZ is on point here. This is going to be impossible for cajunb. How does he get in? There's TTs all over the place. He's going to get absolutely destroyed there in Upper Dark. 16-11 will be the first map score. Fnatic finding the victory in the end. It looked very troublesome for them at various points in the second half, but generally speaking, they looked like the better team here. But that was a really great match, actually.
Yeah, it was a very good match. The second map is going to be Inferno, so bear with us while we wait for the admins to set that up. We should be back in just a few minutes. Oh, and yeah, that's it actually. So we'll see you back in a few minutes with map 2.